Welcome. Today, we're going on a journey deep into the mystical heart of a single verse from the Psalms. You see, hidden in plain sight is what you could call a secret engine of redemption. And together, we're going to deconstruct the very mechanics of freedom itself, from a dark prison cell in ancient Egypt all the way to the cosmic source code of reality. So I want you to imagine this with me, just for a second. Picture total blackness. Then, a single flicker of torchlight. You're deep beneath the earth, in an Egyptian prison. The air is thick, it's heavy with despair. And there's Joseph. He's bound. And not just by iron chains, but by this deep, spiritual constriction. The chains, they glint, cold and hard in the low light. The silence is just oppressive. It's broken only by the steady drip of water somewhere in the dark and the distant, muffled sounds of a world he can't reach anymore. But then, suddenly, a sound cuts through that stillness. It's a royal decree. And it's echoing from a place that feels impossibly far away. And then, the whole atmosphere changes. A luminous presence, you can't see it, but you can feel it, descends into the cell. It's a messenger of pure will. The air crackles with energy. And the iron bonds, they don't break, they dissolve. The stone walls of the prison, they don't crumble, they just fade into transparency, revealing this vast open space of destiny. You see, this isn't just a release. This is a complete reordering of reality. A king sent and released him. You know, on the surface, this sounds pretty straightforward, right? Pharaoh lets Joseph out of prison. Case closed. But what if it's so much more than that? The mystics, when they pored over these exact words in the Zohar, they saw something else entirely. They didn't just see a historical event, they saw a universal formula, a blueprint for how divine redemption actually works, on every single level of existence. This verse right here, this is our key. And our journey into its secrets, well, it starts right now. So, here's our map for the journey. First, we're going to start with the literal story, the prisoner and the king. Pretty simple. Then we'll start peeling back the layers, looking for this hidden decree that comes from a higher reality. After that, we are going to get our hands dirty in the actual engine room of creation, exploring the mechanics, before we translate it all into an analogy for today, a kind of divine source code. We'll even see how this entire process looks as an alchemical transformation of colors and numbers. And then, finally, we're going to bring it all home to you and the chains that might be present in your own life. Okay, let's start on the ground floor. The simple meaning, what the sages call the pshat. We've got Joseph, often called Yosef HaTzadik, Joseph the Righteous, and he is stuck in an Egyptian prison. But look, this isn't just about stone walls and iron bars. The real issue here is concealment. I want you to think of Joseph as a channel, a pipeline for divine light into this world. And right now, that channel is completely blocked. The flow is constricted. And this right here is our first really crucial shift in perspective, that prison isn't just made of stone. It's a powerful metaphor for any state of limitation that we experience, any place where our potential feels bound up, where our energy is just completely blocked. Joseph, in this story, is that spiritual pipeline. He's the very foundation for divine flow. And at this moment, that pipeline is totally offline. All right, let's go one level deeper. This is what's called the remez, the hint of a hidden meaning. And the key is in two little words, shalach vayaterehu. A king sent and released him. Now, to the mystics, this wasn't one single smooth action. No way. They saw a super precise two-part process, a sequence of cosmic events hidden right there in the grammar. And this is just a brilliant distinction. Shalach, to send, that's the high-level authorization. That's the king, the source of all will, issuing a command from a reality that is completely beyond Joseph's prison cell. It's a top-down decree. But vayatairehu, and he released him, that's the boots-on-the-ground execution. A messenger, an angelic force is dispatched to carry out that specific command in the physical world. This reveals an incredible layered agency in the universe. Think of it like a divine CEO setting the policy, and then a specialized field operative goes out and makes it happen. And now we enter the real engine room. This is the drasha level, and this is where we map this whole process onto the Kabbalistic tree of life. If you're not familiar, the Sephirot are basically the 10 fundamental channels or attributes through which divine energy flows to create, well, everything. So Joseph's release isn't just a story anymore, it becomes a live diagram of cosmic forces in action. So let's map the players here. The king, the melech, that corresponds to malchut, the sphere of kingdom. This is where the infinite will becomes a concrete decree. Now Yosef is always linked to Yesod, the foundation. He's the conduit that funnels all the higher energies down into our world. So what's the problem? We have a blocked Yesod. The bonds, the asurim, represent a state of din, which is severe judgment, and it's choking off the flow of energy. The release, then, this vayatehehu, is an act of chesed, or loving kindness, that gets initiated from the very top, from Malchut, and it's sent down to fix the problem at Yesod. It's basically a full system reboot, initiated from the highest administrative level. Okay, to really get the deepest secret here, the sod level, let's do a little translation. Let's take this ancient mystical process and map it onto a language that we all speak today, technology. I want you to imagine that reality itself is a vast, divinely coded operating system. And in this system, Joseph's imprisonment, it's not a bug, it's actually a feature, a state of constricted permissions. And his release? Well, that's a high-level administrative command that completely overrides the system's current settings. And this, I think, just brilliantly illustrates the mechanics. The divine will, the Ritzon, is the root command. The king, Malkut, is the superuser with total root access. The decree to release Joseph is a command line entry typed into the cosmic terminal. And the angel? The angel isn't flying down with a physical key. No, it's an API call. It's a script that connects directly to the system process named Joseph and just changes his state variable. The prison itself, that physical firewall, it becomes totally irrelevant. His permission level is elevated instantly from asur, which means bound or forbidden, to mutar, meaning permissible or unbound. It is a fundamental change in the source code of his reality. So let's just look at this side by side because it's so helpful. For a kid, you can explain it just like a video game. The hero's trapped in a dungeon, and the king sends a helper, an NPC, with a master key. Simple, easy to get. But for us, it's cosmic engineering. A vital system process, Yesod, is being throttled by constraints. So the root administrator, Malshad's, executes a script that removes those constraints and restores full operational capacity. See, two different explanations, but the core principle is absolutely identical. Liberation comes from a higher-level intervention that unlocks a constrained potential. But this process isn't just mechanical, it's not just lines of code. It's also alchemical. The Kabbalists taught that every spiritual state has a corresponding color and a number and a vibration. So we can actually visualize Joseph's redemption as this incredible transformation. A shift through a symbolic spectrum, from total darkness all the way into a new dimension of light. So we start with the number 1. It represents that singular, isolated state, confinement. The color, of course, is black. And this isn't the black of evil, but the black of pure concealment, a state where all the other colors, all of the potential, is hidden away. This is the essence of the prison, that state of asurim, of total limitation. And then comes the intervention. We jump to the number 7 for the 7 lower Sephirot, the ones that govern emotion and action, that are now activated. And the color is red. This is the color of din, of severe judgment. The ancient texts explain that red is the power of Gevurah. It's the force you need to cut through something, to make a sharp, decisive change. This is not a gentle nudge. This is a powerful command that just shatters the confinement. And what's the result of that severe, cutting red force? Well, paradoxically, it's wholeness. We arrive at the number 10 for the complete system of all 10 Sephirot, now working in perfect harmony. And the color becomes white, the color of chesed, of pure, loving kindness. It's so perfect because white, as we know, contains all the other colors, just as chesed is the foundational, life-giving energy of reality itself. The channel is open. Pure, unfiltered divine light is now flowing through. And finally, we land on the number 18. Now, in Hebrew, 18 is the numerical value of the word chai, which means life. This isn't just about being not in prison anymore. This is a totally new, elevated state of existence. The colors shift to royal blue and gold, the colors of Malchut, of royalty, of destiny. You see, Joseph doesn't just walk out of jail. He walks into his ultimate purpose as the viceroy of Egypt. It's a complete transformation, from the inside out. So after all that, why does any of this matter to us right here, right now? It's because this entire cosmic drama, it isn't just some ancient story. It's a pattern that repeats in all of our lives. Every single one of us has our own Egypt, our own personal prisons. They might be emotional or psychological or financial. They can be any state of being where our true potential feels completely locked away. So I want you to take a moment and really think about this for yourself. What are the chains? What are the confining walls in your own experience? Is it a fear, a limiting belief you have about yourself, a situation that just feels totally inescapable? Identifying the prison, That's the absolute first step toward understanding the mechanism of release. And here is the crucial point. The exact same blueprint applies to us. The king in our own story, that can be our highest will. It can be our soul's true purpose, that deepest part of us that's connected to the divine. And when we align with that, we are issuing the decree. And the messenger? Well, the messenger can be anything. It could be a conscious action you take, a book you read, a teacher who appears in your life, or just a sudden moment of clarity that cuts through all the noise. That's the agent that executes the will of our inner king and rewrites our personal source code. So ultimately, what this ancient secret really teaches us is that true freedom isn't about escaping our circumstances. It's about elevating them. It's about calling on that higher authority, our own divine spark, to send a message that redefines our reality, transforming our prisons not into ruins, but into the launch pads for our greatest purpose. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We truly hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please do like, subscribe, and we'd love it if you'd share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments below. We'll see you in the next chapter.